Hey, my name is Marcus, and I know having low self-esteem can be extremely hard. You know, in my younger years, I dealt with a lot of major self-esteem issues. I was an overweight kid and always picked on, right? Always bullied, always fought, essentially almost every day. And so I know what it's like to have low self-esteem, and it took me a long time to get out of that. It took me until my teen years before I really started growing out of that phase. And even still, I fought it for many years. But, you know, trying to come from a place, right, where you feel like you're not accepted, where you feel like you fail all the time, it can be hard. And it takes a lot to get out of that place. It takes you just an understanding of the fact that you are essentially in a spot that your back is against the wall, right? Like there's nowhere to go but up. And that's one of the biggest things to remember, is that when you're in that situation, you've essentially backed yourself into a corner. And this is a good thing in the sense that you only have one way to go. But the biggest thing to understand is that it's going to take time. We need to stop looking at those other people that we're comparing ourselves with and realize that we're our own person, right? That no matter what happens in life, it's all based off of the choices that we make, not of what anybody else is doing. You know, we aren't everybody else, right? Some people are better at other things than we are. And in our case, you know, there might be things that we are better at than other people are. And that's one thing to keep in mind. We're all not cut out of the same cookie cutter, right? We're all different, we're all unique. And so we need to understand this. This is going to be essential to help us move forward. And to know that and to realize that we can move forward from here. And one of the biggest things is to start setting yourself up, right? To start allowing yourself to see that you can do whatever it takes, right? And build that confidence back up. And this can be some of the smallest things, right? Just find something little that you know you'll complete, right? And complete it. Now, find something that is perhaps something you're interested in, right? And something you've always wanted to do. And take it a little step at a time and execute on that one little thing. And you find that this starts building your confidence, and, you know, perhaps start eating a little bit better, you know, drinking a little bit more water, and making sure you get enough sleep. A lot of these things play big into our mood, and our mood essentially feeds our self-esteem, right? It's essentially what sets the precedence for the rest of the day. So if you're starting to take better care of yourself, you notice your mood starts improving and your confidence starts building up. And so start doing this. Start doing little things. Perhaps get up early and take a walk and get out, get some air, get that blood pumping, get all that, you know, all that fog in your head out. And a walk will typically help that. Start listening to some music you like. And you know what, using something like essential oils also helps as well. And you know, I've never been a big believer, but there's a lot of science to back, you know, the fact that smell plays a huge part in our mood. So if you are taking care of yourself and then you have some kind of essential oil burning to help you, you know, breathing that stuff to better your mood, you realize that you start building confidence, you start feeling better, and that's ultimately where you want to start. Once you start there, once you start taking care of yourself, you realize that, you know, you start building more confidence and, you know, building those little things that can help you build your confidence to, you know, raise your self-esteem. And again, this can be really hard because there might be some kind of setback. Maybe you feel like you missed a day, you're trying to take care of yourself and you missed a day. Perhaps you ate something you weren't supposed to, and you essentially feel like the rest of the day is just shot, but that's not true, right? Just because you had that one little thing, it doesn't ruin everything. It's throwing the rest of the day out the window that's really gonna hurt compared to that one little thing that you ate. So, you know, just be mindful. Do the best that you can, you know, document your journey. This helps, you know, perhaps, you know, do a little bit of self-talk in the morning. Say, hey, today's gonna be a good day. today I'm going to execute on those things I'm supposed to execute on, whatever daily thing you're trying to accomplish, and get it done. And that will feel better. Don't look so far ahead, right? If you have some big goal that you want to make these big lifestyle changes, right? Just narrow it down to the daily task and only focus on that. Because if you're always, just looking at whatever that end goal is of who you want to be and from where you are now, you have to realize that it's going to take time to get there, and that it's going to take a lot longer than you actually think it is. So take care of yourself. Start eating healthier, start walking, do a bunch of these different things with music, right? Listen to some music, get the essential oils so you got some kind of, you're breathing in like perhaps a lemon smell, which helps you, focus and gain confidence. And these things really help. They are something that I've used that have helped me, set my mood in a better state, right? And that's ultimately what you want to do. Once your mood's in a better state, then you can start executing those tasks, those daily tasks that will build your confidence up better. And you realize that you won't be that person you were before that had the low confidence, right? And building confidence is a continuous thing. This is something I've noticed, right? In my younger years, when I was building up my confidence, I had to continue to do it, right? Because a lot of times when you're coming from a place like that, right? If you were like me and, you were a chubby kid, right? Like, you always have that image in your head. It doesn't matter how great of a shape you get into, that image is always still back in your head, right? You're always trying to get away from that, right? And a lot of times that could be great motivation to move away from who that person was to who you are today. And know that you have to keep moving forward. Know that you're going to have to keep putting in the time and the effort and the energy to maintain whatever it is that you're trying to maintain and build up your self-esteem. And some of the biggest things is just keeping your mind right? Set it in the morning. Say today's gonna be a good day, execute it the way you're supposed to, and not always things are gonna work out right. Like, things during the day don't always play out the way they're supposed to, but at least try to get one or two tasks, and don't do too much in one day, right? A lot of times we get carried away, we get excited, we get motivated to want to do all these things, make all these changes to help us become more confident. And then, one day we might execute them all, and the next day we might execute one or two, and then get discouraged a little bit that we didn't execute them all like the day before. And then a lot of times this will pull us back into the routine and feeling sorry for ourselves and making us go backwards as opposed to going forwards. And just do the best you can, right? And continue to essentially, put some kind of damage control on those days where you're having rough days, right? So say you have a bad meal or something, okay, that's okay, but just realize the rest of the day you're gonna stick back to your diet, right? Don't just blow the whole day. Don't just, because you didn't execute those tasks, don't just blow the whole day away, right? At least still try to be productive in some way, shape, or form. And this will help build that confidence up. And before you know it, if you can execute every day and just take it day by day, the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, and the months, turn into years. So just keep that mentality. Just realize that it will take time, and just stick to it. And accomplish those small victories. That's ultimately what it's going to come down to, is just accomplishing the small things. Take those big ambitious goals and, chunk them down into smaller goals, daily tasks that are going to allow you to be successful and build that confidence up and be a more confident person. And a lot of times, depending on what it is, you might have to go a little bit out of your comfort zone. Now, you may find it's hard to do some specific tasks, right? And that's perfectly okay, because we have to realize that we're going to be a little bit uncomfortable in some of the changes we might want to make, right? Maybe we want to be more social, want to be more confident in being in a social atmosphere. So don't go into big crowds then, try to be around smaller crowds and try to control it. Try to control the environment, right? If possible, and go into a smaller crowd. And solely do whatever it is. And if you feel like maybe you need someone with you when, you have the social anxiety, then take somebody with you, force yourself to go a couple minutes and then give yourself a break, right? Don't press it to the point to where you're not going to want to, do it again, right? That you're not going to have the confidence to go back out there and do it because you get scared. So the biggest thing is to just chunk everything down, manage your environments, and set yourself up for success in whatever way you can. So I believe in you. Remember that you got what it takes. Don't worry about the small things. Realize that you will eventually get there. You just have to keep focused.